Spellbreak is a third-person, magic-based battle royale that focuses on projectile-style aim and high mobility. On the surface, it may not seem like a good fit for FPS players or aimers in general, but there is a build that can exploit aiming mechanics to devastating effect without the need for deep game knowledge. We do encourage players to learn and explore the skill cap of the game, but for this video, we're just going to cover how to hit the ground running and have some fun abusing aim against players who may not be as familiar with the FPS genre. First things first, Spellbreak uses an in-game sensitivity slider with huge steps. For example, if you use 800 DPI and 5 in-game sense, that equals 28.5 cm per 360. But if you go one step down to 4 cents, the centimeter per 360 jumps all the way to 35.7. Fortunately, you can fine-tune this relatively painlessly through the GameUserSettings.ini, which can be found here. We'll add that string to the description. Copy-paste that into your file explorer, open GameUserSettings, and manually enter the sensitivity you want to try. For example, if 4 feels too fast and 3 feels too slow, you could try something like 0.035, which is the same as 3.5 in-game. Make your changes, save the file, and open up the game again. With your settings sorted, let's take a look at the build and playstyle of the Conduit class. The Conduit features tracking style aim, with fast projectiles that let you laser people down with only minimal target leading. The skills that enable this aiming focused build are Potential Energy and Power Surge. Potential Energy adds additional damage to your lightning bolt each time it fires, capped at 5 additional damage. This means we ideally want to fire entire mana bars of lightning bolts at a time for optimal damage output. If you are playing with friends or communicating with your teammates, see if you can bargain for amulets ASAP over other items, as Conduit performs very poorly with low mana levels as you can't stack up your damage. The damage you deal is devastating once you unlock the Power Surge skill. This lets you cast Lightning Strike, then fire lightning bolts for free for 4 whole seconds, and then you can use your full mana bar for a greatly extended high damage barrage. Conveniently, Lightning Strike or electrifying other effects on the battlefield can inflict the shocked status effect. This stops the player from using any attacks or runes, letting you trade extremely well with your extended casts where you would otherwise be quite vulnerable. With all this potential damage, the trick then becomes positioning and avoiding damage so you can best pump out lightning bolts. While all runes have their uses, for this build, teleport is ideal and flight is probably next best. The runic fluency talent provides an additional rune charge, and the overload skill provides another. Having 2 to 3 charges of teleport or flight allows constant repositioning to put yourself in a great spot to cast lightning bolts, or to dip out of combat if you're being challenged too directly. Fire and stone gauntlets in particular can punish your damage as you are relatively immobile when firing. So if you're being threatened by players using these gauntlets, it can be a good idea to teleport to a safer position and plan for a better exchange. As far as talents go, runic fluency is a great choice for the aforementioned mobility with teleport. Fervor is a direct throughput upgrade, letting you get more damage out faster, and recovery or thirsty are good options for survivability. For your second gauntlet, stone and toxic are good choices in the early game when contesting loot and before you have an amulet. Mid to late game, the wind gauntlet can be a great option for wombo combos. Lightning Strike and Tornado are an excellent combination, as the shocked status effect means they cannot use a rune to escape the tornado. The secondary strike skill causes insane damage to a target trapped in your tornado, as your Lightning Strike continually hits them. Tornado in general combos really well with your teammates. Take this clip for example, where the enemy gets tornadoed into Lightning Strike, and my teammates ignite the tornado and then detonate it with toxic damage, annihilating this poor soul. To perfect your aim for this build, or to simply warm up for a Spellbreak session, we highly recommend spending some time in KovaaKs 2.0 on our specially curated playlist for Conduit tracking. Mid-range sensitivity tester is a great way to lock in your hand-eye coordination. Any lapse of focus will have you falling off the target, so it's excellent at encouraging the habit of focusing on what you are tracking. Thin Gauntlet is where your smoothness will be trained. Jittery aim performs poorly in Spellbreak as the weapons are relatively slow projectiles rather than hit-scan weapons. Smoothing out your tracking is essential to good lightning bolt casts. Ground Plaza Easy combines a need for focus and the ability to adjust your aim to targets at different distances and speeds. Vertical long strafes works on an often neglected part of aiming, which is on the Y-axis. Many modern shooters play heavily on the X-axis, so games like Spellbreak that have a great deal of verticality can benefit from training this aspect of aim. Finally, we have Air to Smooth, which features a target moving on both axes in long strafes, which emulates the movement of targets in Spellbreak. This scenario ties the playlist together with a culmination of all the skills practiced so far. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you'd like to see some more Spellbreak content.